Can the betting markets help us understand the momentum of the 2024 election? My name is Kotal, and let's talk some politics. One of the tools I like to utilize is to look at the betting markets, particularly the aggregate compiled by Real Clear Politics, to help understand the ebb and flow in an election cycle. Now, this metric is not directly representative of voter sentiment, but rather indicates how people who are betting on the campaign perceive the current state of a race. As such, the most benefit I tend to get from it is understanding what major events move the needle, and whether these events have a long-lasting impact or are merely transient. To help illustrate, let's take a look at the past 3 months of the presidential election. The first major shift occurred after May 30th, following the felony guilty verdict in Trump's New York case. In this instant, President Trump went from a 16-point advantage over President Biden in the betting odds to merely an 8.5 advantage. However, this shift in President Biden's favor was merely transitory, with it returning to a 6-point advantage 2 weeks later. This shows that while the betting markets perceived that the guilty verdict would hurt President Trump's odds, it was not actually something that impacted him long term. The next shift happens after June 27th and the CNN debate. This debate saw a massive and immediate decline in President Biden's standing in the betting odds, ending at over a 32-point advantage for President Trump. Soon thereafter, you could see that there is a great deal of turbulence between President Biden and VP Harris in the betting odds, until President Biden's withdrawal from the race after July the 20th. On July the 13th, an assassination attempt was carried out against President Trump, and we see our next jump in the betting markets, with President Trump soaring as high as a 48-point advantage at one point. However, this higher rate also appeared to be transitory, especially as a week later, President Biden dropped out and VP Harris emerged as the presumptive Democratic nominee, eliminating the bump from the assassination attempt. This brings us to the final increase, with VP Harris on a steady but substantial increase in the betting odds. Having consolidated the Democratic Party's support, Vice President Harris surpassed President Trump in the odds on August 7th, and as of this writing maintains a healthy 6-point lead over him. Reviewing the 4 major needle-moving events, 2 of them appear to be transitory, namely Trump's guilty verdict and his assassination attempt. On the other hand, 2 events proved more enduring, namely President Biden's CNN debate performance and the selection of VP Harris as the new nominee for the Democratic Party. Looking at the upcoming calendar, there are a number of other potential events that could further move the needle in either direction. The first is the Democratic National Convention in Chicago between the 19th and 22nd of August. In addition, we have the impacts from any potential debates, with the ABC debate scheduled for 10th September, and it appears like that one is locked in at this point. Furthermore, we have the sentencing for President Trump in his New York case, right now set for the 18th of September, with lingering, although diminishing potential for other court cases such as the Georgia and D.C. cases occurring before the November election. However, there may also be other events that might have an impact on the race. Some scenarios could include economic news, either positive or negative, international events such as spikes in the conflicts in either Ukraine or the Middle East, or even a ceasefire in Gaza, major civil disturbances, such as renewed unrest related to the Gaza conflict, or even, God forbid, a major terrorist incident. And this list is far from exhaustive, and there may indeed be a cumulative effect from multiple of these events occurring at the same time. Although the race had been relatively stable prior to May, the past 3 months have shown a great deal of movement in the betting markets, and potentially indicating major shifts in the national mood towards the candidates. But what do you think? Do you find the betting markets a useful tool for gaining additional insight into where the election stands? What potential events do you think might have a major impact on the race? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.